Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. You know, the leaders in below the waistline grooming and the innovators, the creators of that Lawnmower 4.0, which is phenomenal. I mean, when you talk about that below the waist care, you know, when you talk about keeping your lawn nice and neat, I always think, you know, just in real life, like when people go to your house and they look at your lawn, you want it to be nice and kept neat when you get company over, right? Because it's nothing worse than company comes over, they see your lawn and like, oh, what is this?
Yeah, you don't want any dog crap in the yard either.
Yeah, no dog crap, but definitely no bushes and no weeds, whatever you do, okay? But the Lawnmower 4.0 will make sure that you are covered. They will make sure that the grass is low so all of your tree will show, okay? And you want that, okay? It looks better that way. That's what I've heard at least, okay? So with that being said, you can't just check them out. You got to use the promo code. And ladies and gentlemen, we know what the promo code is. It is MOATS. Get you 20% off of your purchase and free shipping worldwide at manscaped.com. So stop wasting time. Hit them up because your delicate twins and friends will thank you. AB.
Are we sure people even want to talk about
AB
this?
leaving the Bucs game early.
We could skip the talk.
You know, but of course, with Antonio Brown of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still currently, because he has not officially been released just yet, but obviously with his situation down there, it had people asking questions, making recommendations about his next stop for potentially playing ball. So I guess we will address this, and this will be fun. But a couple of details, right? So
do we have any real information on this?
Yeah, so the real information right now is technically the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not released Antonio Brown. They are still working out details behind it because Antonio is a vested veteran. What that essentially is once you cross over the 4th year threshold at the NFL level, you are allotted one guaranteed year of pay, in the sense of if a team cuts you at whatever time, you can essentially file a little paperwork, sign it. Yes, I want it. My vet guaranteed money or whatever, and it would guarantee his contract, right? And essentially he could go anywhere else and then get paid again. Now, granted, it's a little different because the timing with a week left, you don't really necessarily care about the double dip that we always talk about in terms of a guy leaving here, getting paid there and getting paid for both teams or whatever. But with this situation, I don't know all of what's left on his contract, incentives and stuff like that. I know he has some clauses out there. There was like $1 million in incentives and stuff, but that's the big hold up right now. They're trying to figure out how to release, recoup, and not owe him anything. And until they can get all of those little details, because conduct detrimental is the word you probably will hear thrown out a little bit more. If they can't necessarily release him right now, they go conduct detrimental, they can fine him for very, very large amounts of money. So that's something that they'll be worried that will be hitting them as well before they can officially release him. Just the details of that stuff. That's the behind the scenes. But in terms of, you know, would you want him to return to Pittsburgh?
Oh, yeah. I'm good with it.
Now talk about it. Why though? Look, you can't just say, yes, you would want AB back in Pittsburgh. And you not say why. I need to hear why. Help me understand.
He's a really good player.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of it, I guess.
Which part?
He's got a connection to Pittsburgh, too.
What's his connection?
He used to play here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could help the team out. Now, this whole situation's unfortunate. I get it. And maybe you could call me an idiot for thinking this or thinking that he'll turn a new leaf here, which he may or may not, but that's kind of what you're going to get with signing AB. I'd be willing to take the risk. That's about it.
Okay. That was it.
That's really it, man.
Man, I thought you had a more compelling, convincing argument than that. Dang,
I just like AB.
That was kind of weak sauce, bro. Man, I'm over here like, really? You
because there's probably a better case for him not coming back.
You give way better cases for Seven being the greatest quarterback of all time than that. That was kind of watered. That was small Deke energy, man. I'm a little disappointed in you, bro.
I would just want AB back. I mean, it would help better if Ben was coming back too.
Keep talking. Keep circling the wheels. Come on, man.
All right, fine.
Come on, man. Yeah. I need more. Make it sound better.
Potentially comes back.
Okay.
All of a sudden, do we get the return of Seven too?
Ooh,
one last ride. Le'Veon Bell's contract with the Bucs.
Oh,
nah, we're good. We got Najee.
Well, all I know is
we're good.
As soon as L. Bell and AB reunited, that's when AB lost his shirt and ran out the stadium.
Right. Maybe
that's all. And L. Bell had a catch in that game, too.
You can't have the three Bs together again.
Yeah, he had a 15-yarder in that game, too. He looked nice. Yeah, he did some things. But as soon as they got together, you saw it's like a magnet. Like, oh, no, bing! Like, you can't have them. They can't be in the same building. You throw that third current in there. Oh, no, it's perfect storm. We don't need that. But
let's be real. There probably is a better case for a team not to sign him after this. I mean, we saw.
I mean, why would
the Steelers, the Raiders, the Patriots?
Why would you not sign him? Because I've heard why you would. Why would you not? Sign
just
him?
Locker room drama.
What do you mean? What type of drama? What you referring to? What do you mean? Like
potentially not a team first attitude, even though it looked like.
He looked team first.
He was very team first over the past year, all the way up to this point with the Bucs. I think he even did an interview recently. I saw on social media saying like, I'm all about the team. I'm all about winning.
Yeah.
So this, based off of his recent behavior, is strange. But then based off of his full body of work, you're not surprised. It's weird. I mean, if you do sign him, you're getting, I still think, a top 10 receiver in the NFL, which is why I think it's always worth looking into. But don't be surprised if something like this happened. Don't be surprised if the locker room gets messed up a little bit. So there's all that. I mean, because this was Tom Brady. This was the guy you thought.
Technically, it did work, though.
He got the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Right.
That was the one thing
in terms of lasting, though.
Yeah, it didn't last, but it definitely worked. And I will say, on top of it working, for the people that are like, oh, man, this has to be so big for Brady. Not really when you think about who he shared a locker room with. He had Hernandez. Nothing.
He's even had guys like on defense, like Haynes.
But Haynes or for still, none of those guys will ever come close to what his teammate Hernandez was doing.
Right.
He was taking people's lives. What AB did was nothing close to that. So I don't think Tom Brady's looking at this as a failed. I think he's looking at this as, man, we got that Super Bowl off of it. Everything worked out the way it worked. Absolutely.
For that 1 year. Right.
I got what I needed.
Everything else has been house money.
Right. That's kind of how I think of it for him. But
it does hurt them, though. It definitely
does.
With them losing Godwin.
Yeah, that's huge. It's huge, man. But the thing for them, they still got the O-line. So Brady's going to have time. They still have Evans, who is still an elite receiver. I think Fournette and those guys should be coming
Miller
back.
Healthy because he likes Miller. I think Tyler Johnson's not a bad receiver.
It was another guy that stepped up for them late in that game. Yeah, because they were down when AB went out.
Well, his game-winning touchdown was to a no-name. I've never even heard of him.
But the dude, that's the guy I was talking about. Like he started picking it up and the end of it once AB had left. Yeah. So for me, man, since you do want AB back or you would be open to it, I do not want him back. I am 100% against it. For me, man, I'm just tired of it. We've talked about this before. I always joke with you about being I always joke with you about you being the girlfriend that's in this toxic relationship, and the dude done everything that he could do wrong to you. He disrespect you publicly. He disrespect you privately. He step out on you publicly. He step out on you privately. He called the police on you. He tell the police throw you in the back of the car. He got you on IG Live. He throwing gummy ding dongs at you. They ain't even Manscaped. Maybe they were Manscaped. I hope you used the promo code MO so you got the 20% off. But like he does all of this and you still over here like, I think I love him still. I think he'll change. It's different this time.
No, I don't expect him to change.
And I'm saying, and we talked yesterday. I said, man, most guys, you don't even get one of the exits that he had. The Pittsburgh exit, when you start talking about owners, when you talk about general managers, when you talk about head coaches, when you talk about franchise quarterbacks in the manner that he did, typically you don't ever see those guys get another opportunity. He did because of how elitely talented he was, and rightfully so. But you even think about the money. We paid him essentially $20 million to not be on the team that year. Remember, we held that. That's how bad it was, right? But then you go to Oakland and you up it. What did he call? He called me. Are you allowed to recall what he said to Mary? You can say that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he said that to me. Where he was talking about some type of food, not a Ritz cracker.
You can say it.
I don't like to go that route, man. I try to be chill with it, bro. But he was talking about food and not Ritz crackers when he was referring to the GM there, along with being about to attack the dude. Like, yeah, and we saw the video, the video. Oh, I'm free. Like all this. Like most people don't get back from that. And not to mention, we forgot was this. He wasn't practicing because of a helmet. Remember that.
He liked his helmet.
How many guys? We get on to it, right? People have talked about Tuitt this year.
Well, he burned his feet too,
bro. People have talked about Tuitt this year, and Tuitt has legitimate issues that he's been dealing with, right? Whether it's the knee, whether it's his brother. With AB, bro, 1 minute it's the helmet, then it's the foot, and you're coming in here on a hot air balloon, bro. Come on. If this is any other person, they don't get that opportunity. But yet, he gets another one. He goes to New England. New England. You know everything is bad for you right now. Just sit here, shut up, do your job.
He was.
Sit here, shut up, do your job.
In press conferences and stuff.
Yeah, that's what, 2 weeks? 1 week, 2 weeks?
It was him
and got in trouble
phone.
again.
Yeah.
Could not help himself. And then you get another opportunity. Tampa, they bring you in. Brady talks Arian. After Arian says, no, I don't want him. He didn't want him. Brady brings him in. And what does he still do? You get the fake vax cards, right? That gets you a 3-game suspension. That's not anybody. Nobody else made him do that. That's him just being dumb. That's dumb. Because nobody made you have to be vaxxed to play. That was never a rule. So,
it was either that or take care of your chef.
You know what I mean? Like, it was, yeah, take care of your chef too, yeah. But once again, that's on him, right? Self-inflicted. And this is after he's been in jail, right? He done went to jail behind this stuff. He done went and saw a doctor, right? Because remember, that was part of the judge made him go see a therapist. That was a part of his evaluation for it's mental health. Don't give me that. He's already been evaluated. Judge said everything was good. So stop it. So with that being the case, though, how many times are we going to enable him? How many times are we going to say, because your play is so elite, we're not going to hold you accountable? How many times does it have to keep getting worse and worse and worse? I think about in 14, the outbursts. I think about in 16. I think about 18. I think about how it continues to get what? Worse, worse, worse. When does it come to a head? That's my thing.
This is probably it.
We say that now, but we could have said that about all those other instances I just named as well.
Next year on a contender.
Exactly. And now you put him back out there, and now what's the next thing that happens? And that's for me why I say, man, I do not want him in Pittsburgh. I don't want him to get another opportunity because I want him to be able to have to face this. And if you face it now, you can say, you know what? I'm off. I'm tripping. If it's psychological, if it's emotional, whatever it is, I got to get my stuff together. But he's never going to have a desire to do that if everybody enables him because of his talent. And we've seen it now too many times. It was cool the first time. It was funny the second time. It was all right. It's the Patriots the third time. Oh, it was Brady this time. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like, how many dudes we got to go down the list with?
You make a more compelling case than me, for sure. And this, like I said,
and because I care about, that's the thing. I genuinely care about him. Like when I see people laugh at him, I see people in his comments when he posts a picture, oh, fire much. I'm like, bro, that's ignorant. Like, don't gas that up. You're setting them up for more failure. Like, I hate that. Honestly, like, it burns me because it's like, yo, this is like my guy. But at the same time, it's like, yo, you got to be held accountable and you got to want that. And right now, you're never going to want that if no one ever makes you have to face it and have to sit there and say, you know what? I was wrong.
Oh, you said this the whole time, too. I mean, going back 2 years, whenever he was having some of these incidents, you said the exact same thing. Like, he has too many people around him enabling him. Now, it does look like, I would guess, that this is probably the end for him. But, as I mentioned, as time passed,
how many times have we said?
Say Devontae Adams goes down next year or something. Say contender, big-time receiver goes down. You don't hear anything from AB.
Yep.
I think a team will take a chance on him. And I'm just being straight up, too. If like we sign him, I'd be pumped. That's just what it is.
But for me, like I said, I understand that part. I understand the fan part. I understand what he brings to a team from a productivity standpoint. But the one thing that crossed the line to me, what he did Sunday compared to any other times from my personal situations with him or in his other stops, it's never been on game day. Everything has always been leading up to game day. Everything has always been behind the scenes, locker room, stuff like that. We've never seen him get in stadium, like actually, because even the Bengals game, right? That had already been festering throughout the week. And he never was dressed for that game. He had the mink on, but he was never dressed for the game. I've never seen him dressed for a game and not give it 100% the whole time he's out there. Hurt, whatever. I've never seen that. That Sunday, like, bro, you're quitting on your guys. Like, that's what that is. Like, as a guy, as a teammate, like, I think of LeGarrette Blount. I'm like, man, we didn't get a chance to even see it because we're so focused in the moment. But afterwards, like, yo, you quit? Man, get out of here then. We don't want to know way then. Like, that's what I think of when I think of AB right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, if you quit on that team, you just want a Super Bowl with those guys.
And they just won without him.
You know what
too.
I mean? Like, hey, what you gonna do when you come over here?
I mean, you knew the Bucs were winning as soon as he was leaving. You knew they were going to win.
There's no choice. Yeah, Brady race. Okay, calculations. Deep, 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 deep. I got us. It's like, yo, this dude is unreal.
I couldn't believe it either.
It's
just
bro.
like,
it's
this is the Jets.
It's unreal.
They had it down there, 4th and 2. They couldn't get it. It's like, oh, he has 90 yards, 50 seconds left.
It's unreal, bro.
It was like clinical.
Yeah.
But what do you think about some of these reports? I mean, do we know anything? Because one, you're hearing
it's a ton of speculation.
Ankle injury. He didn't want to go in because of that.
So
he's not getting enough targets.
I would say this. It's a ton of speculation, but at the end of the day, it's excuses for his behavior. And that's my biggest issue, because right now, let's be real. First, we heard it was incentives. He was short. He would have ended up with $1 million in incentives. Okay, but my response to that is this. Number one, he still had a whole 2 quarters remaining in that game. And he also had a game next week. But less about that. How close he was to those incentives, I do not care, because he missed 3 games because of his actions. The COVID suspension, that wasn't because of anybody but him. So if he were to fall short of those incentives, all he could do was point to himself, because he was the one who did that. But once again, no accountability. So we would use that to justify the outburst, right? Okay, if he's injured, I ain't gonna lie, I've never seen an injured guy running the end zone shirtless doing jumping jacks and waving the fans. And not be able to play. That's all I'm saying. If you're injured, and it was, you said it's an ankle, right? It was an ankle. I've never, and I've 9 years playing, been covering it, been watching it for a long time. I've never seen that. And you know me, I was a Cowboy. I love T.O. T.O. is big AB, essentially, right? T.O. is AB before AB was AB. I love T.O. T.O. is my guy. I've never seen him do that. That's all I'm saying. So for the whole he was hurt, I'm not buying that either. You have Bruce Arians on record saying that, no, I did not bench AB, because that was the other spec. Oh, he benched him. That's what it was. Like, no, Arians said, I did not bench him.
Arians was telling him to get in.
Get in. Yeah, he was saying, get in. He was like, no. So once again, all of these things that we try to fabricate, that we come up with, that we speculate, is all to do what? To just excuse the issue at hand. And the issue at hand is that he's not making good decisions. These are self-inflicted issues. These are things that until he's held accountable, he's never going to overcome them or improve and have that sustained success that we want him to have. Because that's like, when I talk to him, I speak like this because I care about him. I want him to be successful. But it's like, you keep messing up, and you got the people around you that you're listening to that are not going to tell you any different. And it's frustrating.
Dude literally could be maybe the greatest receiver of all time.
Should have been. No question, should have been, bro.
A legit conversation between him and Jerry Rice. I mean, he could have easily bypassed T.O. and Randy Moss easily on the pace that he was on. Because he's right now, I mean, if he just even want to continue 3 or 4 more years right now,
he still was there.
He would have had more yards than Moss and T.O. And that's with him missing a prime year.
Exactly, bro.
With the whole Patriots thing. He played 1 game and then missed that whole year and another 8 games on top of that.
Come on, man. Come on.
He could have had huge numbers.
Come on. All you had to do is just do what you're supposed to do. Take care of the football stuff and just stay out of trouble. Stay out your own way. But that's the problem. It's like I said, if it was other people doing it for him and he was just guilty by association, that's when, like when L. Bell and LeGarrette Blount, for example, right? When that whole situation early on for L. Bell, it was like, man, bro, you guilty by association. You was in the car. Like, we don't know all the details, but we know your track record has been better than Blunt's. You know what I mean? Just at that time, everything was good at the time.
Did he get another one?
Yeah. After the fact, but at the time, we didn't. It was like, yo, you're good. So we gave him the benefit of the doubt. But with AB, it's not like that. With AB, it's like, this is AB doing this to himself constantly.
Yeah. We all remember Martavis' suspension.
Yeah.
Bell's, they were like, what, 2 games?
Yeah, it was like, was at the beginning. 3
games.
Heck yeah. I'll never forget that. Wait, L. Bell and
didn't matter though. D'Angelo bowled out those first 2 weeks to 1 season.
Facts.
But yeah,
we sitting on that day going plane, waiting like, yo, where they at? The seats is empty. Ooh, to our surprise, we saw my man security forgot that phone. Oh no. When my man pick out that phone, it's never good.